An earthquake measuring 6.4 on the Richter scale has struck the far west region of Nepal, with Jajarkot's Rami Dada as its epicenter. The deadly tremor struck just before midnight yesterday, as we have been receiving reports of massive loss of lives and properties, especially in Jajarkot and adjoining Rukum West. So far, the government has informed that at least 128 people have been killed in Jajarkot and Rukum West, while many more have been injured. The Prime Minister, who left for Jajarkot this morning, has directed all security channels to carry out relief and rescue operation. Good morning, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. A massive earthquake with 6.4 magnitude strikes Jajarkot's Rami Dada as its epicenter. At least 128 people killed and scores others reported injured. The Prime Minister reaches Jajarkot to take stock of the earthquake-hit region. 3 choppers of army in the earthquake-hit region for rescue and relief operations. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejects calls for ceasefire in Gaza until all the Hamas-held hostages are released. UN says no place in Gaza is safe now. And Pakistan win the toss and elect to bowl first in the crucial World Cup match against New Zealand. Australia to face England later in the day. The death toll in the last midnight's earthquake, with Rami Dada of Karnali's Jajarkot as its epicenter, has reached 128. Some 140 others are reported injured in the earthquake that measured 6.4 on the Richter scale. The earthquake struck at 11:47 p.m. just before midnight yesterday, which, according to preliminary reports, has resulted in massive loss of lives and properties. Police Chief at Jajarkot District Police Station, DSP Santosh Roka, has informed that at least 92 people have been killed in Jajarkot alone, while many others are reported injured. Likewise, in the adjoining Rukum West, District Police Chief DSP Namaraj Bhattarai has informed that at least 36 people have been killed, while 85 others are reported injured. The condition of 9 of these injured is reported serious. The rescue and relief efforts, coordinated by all the security channels, are underway in the affected districts. Meanwhile, the rescue efforts have been hampered by dry landslides that struck the mid-hill highways Kale Khola. Efforts are underway to clear the landslide debris to reach out to the victims in the affected region. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, along with a team of health workers, has reached the earthquake-affected region of Jajarkot. The Prime Minister arrived in Jajarkot on a Nepal Army chopper earlier this morning. The Prime Minister reached the district hospital in Jajarkot and met with injured patients and authorities to take stock of the situation in the earthquake-hit region. Meanwhile, 3 helicopters of Nepal Army, 1 Nepal Airlines Corporation airplane carrying a team of 16 health workers alongside medical facilities has also reached Jajarkot and Rukum West this morning. The 6.4 Richter scale earthquake struck Jajarkot's Rami Dada as its epicenter around midnight yesterday. President Ramchandra Paudel has said that he has been grieved by the loss of lives and properties in Jajarkot and Rukum West due to the earthquake that struck the far west, with Jajarkot's Rami Dada as its epicenter. President Paudel has urged the government to mobilize all the stakeholders for the effective rescue and relief operations. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed deepest condolences at the loss of lives and properties resulted by the earthquake around midnight yesterday. Posting his comment on social media, the Indian Prime Minister has noted that India is always with its northern neighbours at this difficult time. Modi has also expressed his willingness to help Nepal at this difficult period. Extending his deepest condolences to the victims who lost their lives, the Indian Premier has wished for speedy recovery of the injured. Meanwhile, political parties have called on their leaders and cadres to reach out to the earthquake-affected region and assist in the relief and rescue operations. Nepali Congress, CPN-UML, Maoist Centre, Rashtra Swatantra Party, among others, have issued separate press release to make the call. The injured in the earthquake in Jajarkot and Rukum West are being treated at Bheri Hospital in Nepalganj. The rescue teams are finding it difficult to bring the injured to the Bheri Hospital as the earthquake has struck the upper hilly region of Jajarkot and Rukum West. Reports from the earthquake-hit region have said that the dead bodies have remained stranded in the area as relatives and rescue teams have rushed the injured to the hospitals. Along with Bheri Hospital, the hospitals of Nepal Army and Nepal Police are also kept at standby to treat the injured. We will keep updating our viewers regarding the unfortunate development from Jajarkot and Rukum West. CPN-UML has walked out of the Koshi provincial government. Following yesterday's political development where Chief Minister Kedar Karki inducted 2 ministers from the ruling alliance, CPN-UML decided to exit the government. The development means that the UML and Nepali Congress coalition partnership has barely lasted 3 weeks. UML ministers without portfolio Ram Rana tendered his resignation to Chief Minister Kedar Karki this morning. Speaking with journalists, Rana said that his party has withdrawn from the government as Nepali Congress has failed to abide by a previous agreement struck with them. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why has health insurance program not been fully implemented? Your options are A, lack of government assistance, B, board is a mere recruitment center, and C, procedural hassles. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now, Nepal's tourism sector has returned to the pre-corona days as an estimated 117,000 tourists visited the country in the single month of October this past month. Tourism entrepreneurs have said that since the sector now has an infrastructure to cater to 3.5 million tourists, the government should start planning tourism-related programs to further boost the industry. In the year 2019, when 1.2 million tourists had visited Nepal, there was lack of infrastructure to accommodate the visitors. The government at that time had announced 2020 as the tourism year, which resulted in a significant investment in the tourism sector. Billions of rupees was invested in the new hotels as the capital saw the construction of Sheraton, Hilton, Budanilkanta Heritage, City Hotel, Crown Imperial and Everest Hospitality, among others. Likewise, Arada Project, Hotel Tiger One, Hotel Pawan Palace, Vegas City Entertainment were also constructed outside the capital. The COVID pandemic dented the aspirations of these hotels at that time, but they are now poised to serve the visitors who are frequenting to the Himalayan nation. The banks and financial institutions have a combined investment of 179 billion rupees in over 4,000 hotels across the country. This investment in the pre-COVID days amounted to 67.5 billion rupees in the hotel sector. The total investment in the tourism sector in the pre-COVID days was estimated to be 170 billion rupees, while the investment amount has now crossed 200 billion. According to Hotel Association Nepal, the number of hotels that can cater to tourists stand at about 4,500 in the country that can provide service to about 3.5 million tourists. Despite the improved arrival of tourists, the entrepreneurs in the sector feel that the government needs to emphasize on programs that can lure more visitors to the country. Time now for international update. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Israel will not agree to any temporary ceasefire with Hamas until the more than 240 hostages seized by the Islamist movement during its attack on October 7 are released. Netanyahu said that the message he conveyed in a meeting with U.S. Secretary Antony Blinken, who made his second visit to Israel in a month in an effort to secure a pause in the fighting. Israel imposed a near-total siege on the Gaza Strip and bombarded the densely populated coastal enclave, home to 2.3 million Palestinians, after Hamas fighters launched a surprise assault on 7th of October, where they killed 1,400 people and took more than 200 hostages. Blinken said he urged Israeli leaders to allow for humanitarian pauses in their war with Hamas in Gaza to allow time to boost aid to the Palestinian enclave and facilitate the release of hostages. The U.S. has sought to balance its support for Israel's response with efforts to minimize casualties in Gaza, which have soared under Israeli bombardment. Meanwhile, Hezbollah leader Syed Hussein Nasrallah speaking for the first time since the Israel-Hamas war erupted, has warned that a wider conflict in the Middle East was a realistic possibility. A formidable military force backed by Iran, Hezbollah has been engaging Israeli forces along the Lebanon-Israel border in the deadliest escalation since it fought a war with Israel in 2006. Nasrallah blamed the United States for the war in Gaza and the high civilian death toll, and that a de-escalation in the besieged enclave was vital to prevent regional war. Team Nepal have qualified for the T20 World Cup for the second time in the cricketing history. Nepal crushed the challenge of UAE by 8 wickets in the second semi-final yesterday to ensure their berth in the T20 World Cup 2024 to be jointly hosted by the US and West Indies. In the match played at Mulpani Upper Ground, UAE, electing to bat first, could only post a below-par total of 134 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. UAE began on an explosive note with their hard-hitting skipper, Mohammad Wasim, scoring brisk 26 runs. However, the fall of Wasim triggered a batting collapse as they were limited to 134 runs after 20 overs. Vritya Aravind top-scored for UAE with a well-compiled 64 runs. However, they lost wickets at regular interval as the UAE innings failed to get the desired momentum it needed to challenge Nepal. Kushal Malla was the most successful bowler for Nepal with 3 wickets, while Sandeep Lamichhane claimed 2 wickets for Nepal. Chasing 135 runs for victory, Nepal began well with openers Kushal Bhurtel and Asif Sheikh. Although Bhurtel departed for 11 runs, Sheikh went on to score 64 runs, remaining unbeaten at the end. Gulshan Jha, who was sent in as a one-down bat, scored 22 runs, while skipper Rohit Paudel remained unbeaten on 34. Paudel and Sheikh guided Nepal to a comfortable victory, notching up the required runs in 17.1 overs. In the other semi-final, Oman crushed Bahrain by 10 wickets to book a place in the final and also guarantee themselves a T20 World Cup ticket. The final of the tournament is slated for tomorrow at TU Cricket Ground. Now, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked spectators in Mulpani Cricket Ground and also people in several provinces regarding their message to the Nepal cricket team for rewriting history with their qualification at the T20 World Cup after a decade. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
10 वर्ष पछाडि अब टी20 वर्ल्ड कप खेल्न पाउँदा चाहिँ अब एकदम हामी अब नेपाली क्रिकेट फ्यान चाहिँ एकदम उत्साहित छौं।
हाम्रो खेलाडीहरूले विश्व स्तरमा आफ्नो देशलाई चिनाएको देखेर हैन अलिकति सरकारले पनि सपोर्ट चाहिँ गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ।
युए र नेपालको भनेको एउटा इन्डिया पाकिस्तान जस्तो मानिन्छ, त्यो आज जितेकोमा धेरै खुसी छ।
जुन उत्साह उमङ्गका साथमा उहाँहरूले खेल्नुभयो, यो प्रदर्शन गर्नुभयो, त्यो हाम्रो लागि गौरवको विषय छ।
जुन हिसाबले नेपाली टिमले यहाँ वर्चस्व हासिल गरेको छ, त्यसै अनुसार पनि यसले विश्वकपमा वर्चस्व हासिल गर्छ भन्ने विश्वास लागेको छ।
अबको दिनमा एउटा युएई, ओमान, हङकङलाई मात्र हराउने हैन, हामीले विश्वकप पुर्याएर न्युजिल्यान्ड, इङ्ल्यान्ड, इन्डिया, पाकिस्तानलाई हराएर
विश्वकपमा पुग्यो, राम्रो लाग्यो। अब ठुलो ठुलो टिमहरुसँग खेल्न पाउँछ।
नेपाली क्रिकेट खेलाडीहरूले विश्वकप नै ल्याउन् भन्ने हाम्रो चाहना रहेको छ।
अहिले जसरी नै खेलिरहेछ त्यसरी नै खेल्न सुझाव दिन्छु।
हामी विश्वसामी परिचित भएका छौं। यो क्षण त एकदम अविस्मरणीय नै रहन्छ।
विश्वकपमा जुन हामी 10 वर्षपछि गएको छ, एकदमै हाम्रो इतिहास रचेको दिन हो आज।
इन्डिया र पाकिस्तानलाई जित्ने गरी खेल्न सुझाव दिन्छु।
पुरा सिङ्गो नेपालीहरूले गौरव गर्ने दिनको चाहिँ नै यो सुरुवात गरेको छ।
अगाडि पनि बढोस्, मेरो यही शुभकामना छ।
अब आउने विश्वकपमा चाहिँ हामी जस्तो ठुला टिमहरुलाई, जस्तो टेस्ट नेसनहरुलाई चाहिँ हामी हराउने छौं भन्ने हाम्रो ठुलो आश रहेको छ।
नेपालका क्रिकेट खेलाडीहरूले विश्व सामु नेपालको शिर उच्च राख्ने काम गर्नुभएको छ।
सरकारले पनि जति सुविधा भएपछि सुविधा दिनु पर्यो।
विश्वकपमा पनि खेल्न पाएको नेपालको प्रतिनिधित्व भएको हुनाले आगामी दिनहरुमा पनि राम्रै गर्दै जाउन्।
राम्रो प्लेटफर्म हो वर्ल्ड कप भनेको। इन्डिया, पाकिस्तान, विभिन्न अरु टेस्ट प्लेइङ नेसनहरु पनि हुन्छन् हैन। अब उनीहरुसँग खेल्नु नै हामीलाई ठुलो कुरा हो।
सरकारले पनि यसमा बढी ध्यान दिनुपर्छ खेलाडीहरुमाथि।
That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.